Yes, thank you. And I just wanted to be sure you could hear a couple of words on this particular song. It is a song that I have written many years ago, and it does have a very joyful message to it as well as a beat that can be used for aerobics if you're so inclined. I'm not going to ask you to stand up and do anything with me today, but I will give you some
Lead
suggestions.
me through the day, so I am not afraid. At night my heart rejoices as I pray. I keep my eyes on you, your word is ever true. Praising you is all I want to do. My choice is you, God, first and only.
Okay, I think you've gotten the general idea of what I'm speaking of, and there are a lot of musical options out there for you to use. So, the thing that's so amazing about the 4th of July, and I love that introduction that was given because America was a huge melting pot of so many different nationalities and continues to be that big melting pot throughout the entire world. As a matter of fact, in the Bay Area alone, we have 8 or 9 different complete cultures that have settled into this area, and we are highly integrated, which is amazing. My family background is Bulgarian. And when my parents came to this country in 1951, my mother was so impressed. Now, she could not understand English that well, neither could my father or myself. But what was amazing is we came here in April of 1951, and when July 4th happened, just a few months later, everyone was celebrating. It was such an amazing thing that they were celebrating the birth of this country. However, because my parents really couldn't understand English that well, my mother thought that the entire country was celebrating her birthday. She was born on July 4th in Bulgaria. And of course, in Bulgaria, it's just another day. But over here, everyone was so excited to see my mother, she thought. They were so excited to see my mother that they wanted to celebrate her birthday. And she was so delighted. She just loved this country altogether. Now, the reason I bring this up is because here we are nearing the 4th of July weekend, and the country is now celebrating its 250th birthday. My mother would have been 104 this 4th of July, but she did die a couple of years ago at the age of 90. And one of the things that made my mother so memorable was not only did she have 6 children, 1 husband, and 10 grandchildren and 16 great-grandchildren before she died, if you can imagine. She was a very active person. And I'm here to remind you and inspire you as much as possible to do what my mother did all the time. She was always jumping out of her chair and taking care of somebody. She got a lot of aerobic exercise. She was constantly on the move. If we came over to see her, she would never sit down for more than 5 minutes at a time because during that time period, somebody always needed something from the refrigerator or the other room or some piece of information that she had to instantly go get up and grab. She also introduced me as a child, once we got our television, one of the famous programs that were going on at that time and introduced in the 50s was the exercise expert that actually introduced the entire healthcare or on television, the infamous Jack LaLanne. How many of you have heard of Jack LaLanne before? Okay, Jack LaLanne at 95 or some ridiculously old age was actually pulling a tugboat across the San Francisco Bay to Alcatraz Island with a chain attached to a mouthpiece that he was holding between his jaws and tugging this boat across the bay with his exquisitely remarkable physique energy at 95. Now, people at that age are not known for their energy. But if we want to have the energy and vitality to really enjoy life, we absolutely need to keep moving because our heart has 24/7 activity going on, beating every second or even more per second or minute. And we need to help it along. And the way we can do that is by using our muscles, especially our calf muscles as we come up on our heels. Walking is a great way of building exercise. And believe it or not, breathing is a remarkable way of boosting oxygen delivery to all the cells that need oxygen to perform as our muscles are using that to energize us. What I wanted to speak about today is, of course, that song you just heard is a Christian aerobics piece of music that can be used for aerobic exercising. And I'm recommending that if you were to take an ordinary kitchen towel like this, I've wrapped it up and rolled it up, and then it has 2 rubber bands, one on each end to keep it in place. And what really helps is if you can just use it to lift your arms like this. You'd be remarkably amazed at how much this vitalizes you in terms of oxygenating your cells. Now, anybody that ever has eye strain or fatigue, boosting the circulation to the brain by doing something as simple as this not only clears your mind so that you can think more clearly, but using your muscles releases BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, as well as the circulation to your eye. Believe it or not, your eye and your brain have the exact same neurotransmitters and neuronal transmission. They communicate so carefully with each other because if you can imagine, without our eyesight, our brain would have no idea what to think about what's going on in the world because our eye helps us see what's happening, and then our brain processes it and gives us ideas as to whether there's danger or whether we need to turn right or left or avoid a traffic accident or find the website so you can communicate with people on Zoom. It's really an amazing thing. So exercising is very important. Now, after you've mastered this thing, another important thing to do is to focus on the torso. And the way you can do that is to twist over like this and over like that. And this is what helps prevent all that belly fat. Fat absolutely has no way of doing what it needs to do when your muscles are moving. And then you can add things like legs, opposite legs as you're doing this, or legs going backwards. And it also helps with balance over time. Anyway, there's all kinds of things you can do to keep your body moving, circulation on track, boosting your eyesight, brain power, and whatever it takes to make longevity worthwhile. And I'm just encouraging you to have fun. Play some music and get your towel wrapped up in what you're trying to accomplish in boosting your youthful longevity. There you go.